Alright, what's up? Welcome back. Just gonna check the stream here. Ooh, it's poor. That's not good. One sec. Just gonna check out the stream on the live. Is it coming through? 1, 2. Right, what's up? Welcome back. That's not bad. Check the stream. It says it's poor, but seems alright to me. Roll with it. So, yeah, all kinds of crazy shit going on, right? Yeah, where to even start? Like, it's, oh my god, it's just a disaster. Like, and it's nothing. Oh, the news kind of went dark on it. You know, it's the only thing. The cruise ship, and they keep piling people up off there too, right? They keep taking people out. My concern, there was this here, the first case of novel coronavirus. Right now, you got these ships out here, and you got this ship at sea. And they went out to make water because well, they use like a process to turn seawater into fresh water. And anyways, so I'm just wondering what they're doing with the sewage, because in this here, this is from the New England Journal of Medicine, it says that his stool and his urine tested positive. Okay, stool and both respiratory tests, but they took urine and stool, but it did test positive. Right, so if it tests positive and they got all these people shitting on there that have this and pissing in this big container, is that living in there? Is there some kind of like disinfectant in there that might kill it? Would it, you know what I mean? I don't know. I would assume, but it just makes me wonder if they're dumping that at sea. You know what I mean? That's kind of worrying, you know, because we don't know nothing about this. And just shit's going down. The big thing right now is the lockdowns, but the lockdowns were going on for like a couple of days now, but they're just kind of surfacing on our media. Xi ordered the military, and this was January 29th from Beijing, and he basically gave the military, you know, whatever it says, to meet the expectations and fulfill the task, the military must strengthen leadership. Alright, so he gave them just free reign of whatever and to do whatever to try and get control of this. And you know, like, you got these guys like burning up fucking places, like, it's crazy. Like, look, they're welding doors and like welding bars on people who are like have a fever, or it's crazy down there. Like, see, like, they're actually like literally like welding, like, this is an apartment building, and people, like, you know, they can't get out, they're barring up the windows. And there's other videos with apartment buildings on fire. Yeah, but it's hard to know what's real, right? Like, you look at it and then you're like, what the hell? But what we know, and these aren't even close to right. The World Health Organization even said they have a shortage of kits, test kits. They're trying so hard not to put the blame on China. And I think what it is, sorry about that. Yeah, so I think what it is they're trying to play really nice with China right now. So, because China hasn't really let anybody in there until, I think today is when they were supposed to arrive, or yesterday. supposed to be a tactical team or a special ops team to go in there and get data and check out the situation and kind of figure out where things are at. But you don't want these guys pissing off China right now, their upper leadership or anything like that, because but at the same time China needs every bit of help they can get. But it doesn't seem like they really want it or something. I don't know. There's something really fishy about this whole thing, right? And every case that's coming out of there, like, oh my fuck, it's everybody has like a different kind of symptom, and everybody's kind of, but it all ends up basically with like your lungs filling up with fluid. Basically, what it is, and some pneumonia. So, they tried to save that Dr. Lee. He spoke out about it all, and they tried to save him. And here we are. Coronavirus exceeds SARS already. Check out that article real quick, see what that's about. I just post stuff. I've been keeping a timeline on my Facebook wall, and people think I am fucking bananas. I swear, I think I'm bananas sometimes. I do, because it's like, it can't be real. I'm not looking at this right now. It's like something out of like I Am Legend or like some kind of Hollywood movie, and it's like, this is how it always starts, right? There's always like some kind of conflict in the media, and like it's like a big secret and nothing's being told, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, hell breaks loose. But it's one of those things that's spreading. It is, and we can't stop it. Can't stop it in China for sure. Maybe the rest of the world, but if they act real fast. But China, I'm not sure. So, yeah. In 2003, 744 people were killed by SARS. And SARS lasted like 2 years. I think. It was like 2003 to 5, I think, or something. And this thing has been going for like, what, 2 months? SARS was around for 2 years. It killed 744 people. This thing's been around 2 months, and it's just fucking, and those numbers are wrong big time. Like coming out of here, like the official data, they can't even be close to right. And the reason why is, first of all, they don't have the medical capabilities or the testing capabilities to keep up with the amount of people. They don't have the staff. They are locking people and welding doors shut. They're going door to door and taking people's temperature. And if you have a temperature, you're either going to like a camp or you're getting like sealed inside. And I was like, there's no way that's happening, but it actually is. And I was like, what the hell? Why is nobody reporting on this? And it's like, well, you can't instill fear in the public at this point. If you show public that, the things that are actually going on over there, they'll have a meltdown. You can guarantee it. They'll shit the bed before you can even have a chance to get a hold on this. So their best option at this time is just to keep playing it off. And their number one crutch right now, I guess you could say, is that they're waiting on data. It's data, before, and it's buying them time. Because they have no idea what this is. Not a fucking clue. They, like, their latest update, they still don't know how it's being transmitted. But there is a news article out of Japan. Let me try to bring that up. And yeah, anyways, it's only a preliminary thing, and it's from only one doctor, but it's kind of says that it's airborne, or at least it is acting like it is, because the same report he has. Well, the initial report is about the infectivity of hospitals, and because in Wuhan, that's what happened. It ripped through that hospital, and people that didn't have it, even like patients in there, they all contracted it. Like everybody ended up getting it, and the frontline nurses and doctors, they figured like 400 people, around 400 to 600 maybe, that are infected. But we're not hearing this on local news or anything like that, because it's, you know, that's huge. That's going to scare the frontline workers all over the world, you know, and they're going to back away from this. Hong Kong, they're all on strike. You know, Hong Kong said fuck this, because they, like, back in the day, like SARS and all that, like they seen all that, right? And now with this, they know there's some crazy something going on, because they all walked off the job, right? And now they got to deal with all these influx of patients from the cruise ships, and it's like, what the fuck? So anyway, I'm gonna try and find that article. Yeah, check that out after. Oh my goodness. Of course I can't find it whenever I want to find it. But yeah, you know, they've been suppressing information in China. Excuse me. Yeah, it's not it's not the coronavirus, I don't think. Stage 1, suppress information. Christmas Day, Dr. Liu, director of gastrointestinal at the Wuhan Municipal Hospital, received alarming news. Several medical staff at 2 hospitals in the city had been infected with an unknown type of ammonia that suggested that the contagiousness of this virus is very strong, told the state-run media daily. It also suggested the mysterious virus could be transmitted between humans. And this is older, right? This is Christmas Day. Liu was not the only one who noted something amiss. 5 days later, at least 2 doctors, independently of each other, began quietly warning other medical staff about several patients exhibiting pneumonia-like symptoms after having visited the seafood market. One of those doctors, an oncologist at the Wuhan Union Hospital, her colleagues in the hospital respiratory unit had taken in many patients exhibiting unknown pneumonia. Be sure to wear masks, ventilate areas, quote. You know, that's what they said in the Chinese Chinese messaging app WeChat. So the group warned about 150 alumni in the WeChat group, possible connection, that there was some shit going down, didn't look good. So 8 medical staff, including Li, were summoned by the police officers 2 days later, reprimanded. And now Li has died, we know that. And Wuhan City Health Commission had already put out a statement acknowledging 27 cases of unknown pneumonia, but said there was no evidence of human-to-human transmission of the disease. The disease was preventable and controllable, and reassured residents, but the suspected origin of the virus, Wuhan's seafood market, would be closed and cleaned just in case. So then the turning point came on January 20th, when Dr. Nashin, a senior health official who helped expose the government's cover-up for SARS, had revealed that on state television, new coronavirus is capable of human-to-human transmission. A full 3 weeks after Liu heard this, as much, so they knew this, right? On the same day, China's top leader, Xi Jinping, broke his silence, and it was of utmost importance to prevent the control disease outbreak, said state news agency. 3 days later, authorities made the same dramatic decision to follow all and contain the viral spread. So the city of 11 million would be sealed off from the rest of the country. So stage 2, lock it down. The decision by Wuhan authorities to shut down the outbound transport came in the early hours of January 23rd. With only hours to spare before all trains and planes were prohibited from departing, residents with cars rushed to the highways. Yeah, could you imagine? But yeah, it's just carpooling services at 10 times the usual fare. Instead of $100, it would probably be like $1,000. Go somewhere. By late afternoon, officials began sealing off highways, leaving Wuhan as well. Yeah, they sealed it off too. Like, they sealed that place. They dug a trench around some of these places. It's just like there's no way to get emergency vehicles in if something happened. Like the supply, like it's just bananas. They went through like extreme lengths, and it doesn't seem right for what they're doing, you know. And as the number of cases, particularly in the town of Wuhan, continues to climb, authorities are turning to even more extreme measures. On Thursday, well, this is a while ago, top Chinese official urged local officials and residents of Wuhan to report anyone they see with symptoms, and to send loved ones with symptoms to the new mass quarantine center. So they also put up the thing that you could call this number if you've seen anybody who had symptoms, or so you would get money if and it was, it's just crazy. Like, they're rolling in there like the army is like, just, it's madness. It really is. And it's a communist country, communist army. Like, these guys are brainwashed. Like, they're brainwashed from like childhood, you know what I mean? Like, they are ruthless and they do not care. They have no sympathy and they will kill you. Like, life is nothing to them. So, and they're rolling in there like guns blazing to like turn this place around, and get all these people like hiding in buildings, and it's a shit show. And food's running out, medical staff's all like, it's just disaster, right? It really is. And they built those big hospitals, but like people are fighting in there, and there's like they're having a really hard time because people are like getting desperate, right? And it's just, people will only take so much, and then they'll all get together, and you know, I'm sure police make one last stand. It'd be because they know the government lied to them, you know what I mean? And they're like trapping them and kidnapping people like right off the streets. If you got a temperature, they're like just taking you and like forcing you, and who knows where they're taking people. Like, really, like, who actually knows? It's a lot. It's a lot. You know. So trying to find yeah, trying to find that article. Yeah, and now they're saying, oh well, this little thing here might be the cause of it. It is a mammal, and I don't know. It's just fluff, right? This thing didn't jump from a mammal. This thing is wicked. This thing is absolutely evil, unreal. It really is, and you can tell just by like the the amount of people in the cruise ships. Like, you know, it's 64 people out of 173 tests they got back so far. So that's crazy high, and we know that, you know, this can be, you can test false negatives for this. So oops. you can test negative for this but still have it, and we know this now. There was a woman, where was she from? Ontario. Yeah, she was here, and you know, Ontario health minister. And on January 23rd, well, she came back from Wuhan, China. When she came back to Toronto, she took a private vehicle to her London home. She was asymptomatic. She didn't have any symptoms. She was feeling fine. She was feeling great. They took a test. She passed. She's disturbing, really, right? Because we can't. It's so hard to detect this. It really is. Like, they got to. there's I guess preliminary tests that they have out now, and they're kind of like a quick diagnostic test, and they are working on more accurate ones. Like these ones here, they're probably like 80, like high 80s, mid 90s for accuracy, but it gives them like a good picture, and it's better than nothing, right? Because like they don't have anything, like they just developed this out of nowhere. And yeah, it's crazy how fast this thing is moving. We can't even begin to understand. But anyways, yeah, here's another thing I found, but this says a crew member dies for unrelated reasons on virus delayed cruise ship. So this guy just dies on a cruise ship for no reason at all, but there's suspected to be virus on there. They can't test, but they suspect that there might be, just because of travelers who have traveled in and around that area around that time. So, but it was a crew member, and he was found in the engine room, and it says what appears to be unrelated cause, law enforcement sources say. So law enforcement, I'm not really going with what law enforcement say on this, because the doctors can't even figure this out half the time, right? So I'm just gonna say this is probably like a 60, maybe high 70% chance that it is related, just given the circumstances, but you never know, right? But what they did is body the crew member, and he is a Filipino, by the way, Filipino national. So they do have confirmed cases in that country now. Anyways, so last weekend, sources said his body was kept in refrigerated compartment until shipped to New Jersey. So they found him dead. They put him in a freezer. I don't know. Could have been a hit. Could have owed him some like drug money or something. Who knows? But anyway, this here ship, yep, they got denied again. And they do believe that there's possibly people infected on this ship too. They were turned away at Japan. They were turned away at where else? British cruise liner Spirit Discovery. And here's another one. This is a totally unrelated. This is like on the other side of the world. Well, I don't think it's on the other side of the world, but it's down Italy somewhere. But there's 86 suspected cases of norovirus, and what's kind of, I don't know. This is interesting because they said the symptoms are diarrhea, vomiting, fever, nausea, and stomach pain. Well, let's go and check out what the New England Journal of Medicine has to say on the first case. Oh my goodness, on the first case of, let's see, where's that at? It's the first US case. Did I bring that over to the other one? I think it yeah, it is. So they're saying that he did have vomiting, diarrhea, which is not and there's different patients due to vital signs, stool, just second episode of the stools. So here's where it says, like his stool tested positive, which kind of concerns me if they're like all pooping in a big tank in a ship. If it's positive and you got all these different people in there doing that, it's all going to one place. Yeah, it's kind of like a cesspool for this stuff possibly to grow if it's not treated right. We don't know how strong it is. We don't know nothing about it, right? Gastro, which one was it? Yeah, but they were saying that the gastrointestinal, I can't even pronounce that. That is being overlooked, like the diarrhea. Yeah, gastrointestinal symptoms may be overlooked in coronavirus. So, and this is like all preliminary data, right? But everybody's kind of showing different symptoms, but certain people, you know, so the symptoms, which had not been considered primary clinical features of novel coronavirus, were observed in the first U.S. case of the illness. Researchers found coronavirus RNA was detected in the patient's stool after 7 days of illness, and so where else does it go? Yeah, so it does say that, you know, you can have vomiting, diarrhea, high fever, and it kind of goes right along with this cruise ship that's being like just kicked around at sea right now. They won't let it dock anywhere. And the Westerdam, that's like its current location here. This is the one that yeah, coronavirus. Cruise ship turned away at Asian ports. Passengers are nervous. I would bet. You know, like, where are they gonna go? Like, you know, he's only got so much fuel. We just can't go to any port. Like, all these ports are kind of closed now. Everything just shut down. And nobody wants them to come to shore, right? Because it's like, well, if you got this, we don't want our healthcare systems dealing with this. We got to deal with our own stuff. You know, but the symptoms, like, I don't know. It could be norovirus, but just considering the situation of what all the stuff is going around right now, I would not be surprised if you know, if this here is in fact related to coronavirus, just because of, you know, and the British cruise liner Spirit Discovery, and they just say due to a norovirus, but that's what they suspect. They don't know for sure, but they do have symptoms, which are diarrhea, vomiting, fever, nausea, and stomach pain. And it was the same thing with the first U.S. patient, right? He had it too, and now there's other patients. Kind of everybody's got different symptoms with this. It's really weird. Like, some people get a dry cough, some people get a fever, some people get nothing at all. Yeah, it's a complete mystery. But anyways, let's go back here for a second. See what's up. Why did the government mandate coronavirus quarantine? Okay, no, that's just US. Well, why do you think they quarantine people? Like, god damn it. Like, we don't know what the hell this is, and they shouldn't even have took them over, in my opinion. I know that sounds sad and sadistic, or like, take them to an island somewhere. You know, I don't know. Like, at least till we figure out what the hell this is, like, nobody knows. And it's like, oh, we're just making all these fucking disastrous mistakes one after another. And the World Health Organization saying, hey, we're broke. If we need some money. Oh, and by the way, we're like, there's no masks on the planet. So, iPhone producer Foxconn is they're gonna fucking retrofit their, you know, they're gonna stop making computer parts and iPhones, and they're gonna start making masks. You know, if that doesn't show you like where we're at this stage, you know what I mean? It's like a war, but it's a war with an unknown enemy we can't see, and it's a common enemy. We're all in this now. Nobody's safe from this, and it's just you got to be very careful. You know, you got to be super careful. And we don't know what it is. It's totally mystery, or so they say, right? You know, they have to wait for data. I'm pretty sure they got a good idea by now what it is. Like, these guys are professionals, and I'm sure they know the situation better than most, but they can't come out and say, well, it's this, unless they get actual data. And that, waiting for data and scientific studies and fucking reanalyzing the scientific studies and running them again and triple checking numbers. Like, it's all wasting time. Doesn't matter. China covered it up. It cost them fucking time. You know, it's costing us time because we're waiting for, you know, too much hard data. And that's what everything is, right? It's all statistics right now, and it's policy, and it's procedure, and it's just a bunch of red tape, fucking by the book. You know what I mean? Because like, there's all the countries in the world are involved in this. You know, even countries that are at war, even countries that are like really shaky fucking politics. You know what I mean? They're all in this now, and you got to get everybody on board, or if not, you know, like it can't work. And they stressed that they only got 38% of complete case files. The World Health Organization, like the people who need the best data possible to put into these models to figure out what the fuck's gonna happen, but they're like, oh, we only got 38% of the data. Also, yeah, the numbers are completely skewed, and also the healthcare systems are backlogged, testing facilities are backlogged. So yeah, you can guarantee this shit is beyond anything you could possibly imagine. And when it finally comes out to light, like, it's, who knows, right? But China's got a handful of problems right now. And, you know, coronavirus video allegedly shows Chinese official. So like, this is some stuff, like, I'm behind a VPN router, and I got like some, you know, I'm like behind like a, yeah. So I'm kind of half getting unrestricted biased news and a little bit, but New York Post, yeah, like there's tons of videos, but this is like kind of like the first time like kind of mainstream media is kind of, but you know what I mean, like all these people that they're counting in numbers, that you know, we're looking at this number chart here and we're saying, hey, oh look, just fucking, it's just, you can forget about the numbers and you can forget about charts. You can like, that thing's like straight up and down. It is like pretty well. It's just like a fucking straight vector, straight up. And it has to be, you know, for the measures that they're taking. It doesn't coincide with, you know, the actions, unless there's at least 3 zeros on the back of that, or at least 2 anyway. And at least probably 2 here. Like there's, now what did I just open? I was going to look at something. Deep. Where was it? Oh yeah, here. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, like they're like, but these guys aren't doctors, right? These are hired muscle. You know, they're hired muscle from, like, you know, the underground, and they suited them up, and they're paying them, and they're, you know, they gave them like a big honorary position to go in and do some good. And it's not doctors or people doing this, you know what I mean? It's not like these are, and it's not even the police and military, because they got their hands full. So it's like they're using the bottom guns, or you know, like the gangsters, like people in gangs and street level people, and they're hiring them, and they're like just putting them to work and they're dragging people and putting them into like these tiny little containers. I seen the things going through. I was like, what the hell? And like, just like taking random people like right off the street. I'm gonna show you something here. It's pretty twisted. Okay, but here is, and why I think this is real, and why I firmly believe it's real. The whole building is on fire. It's all on fire. And if you look at the bottom, you'll notice that there's Chinese writing on the eaves troughs, the canopies, and there's not a goddamn fire truck or police vehicle or nothing inside. And this thing is up in fucking flames, and it's Chinese, it's, you know what I mean, so it fits the bill, right? It does. And they've been locking people inside buildings and then just fucking setting them on fire. That's what they're doing down there. That's how they're ridding the virus, right? Like, where's the emergency vehicles? There's not one fire truck. Like, that's been burning for a while. You know, that doesn't happen. That's hours and hours of burning. Oh, gee. That's insane. It is, and it's happening. Do you want to see? Do you want to see what this chick gets? Or wait, no, let's check this one out. Let's check this one out. This is what the flight looks back for the people returning, the U.S. citizens. So they're taking it more seriously now. Like, you can see these guys are suited up. They got self-contained respirators. Like, that's as high as you're gonna get for security and safety, really. But this guy's a fool. He does not know what he's doing. Leave. And he paused for a while, like, I don't know, like you're not getting off or something. But yeah, this chick right here, I don't know what she did, but these guys are like badass. I don't know what city this is in, but my guess is she was a resident from Wuhan or Hubei province, and she, you know, fled and they found her. Check out this, and it's everybody in the background has masks on. All these guys have masks on, you know what I mean? Like, it fits the bill, right? Like, it's everybody doesn't want to catch this shit. This is a chick. They broke her neck. They so broke her neck, dude. Yeah, she, like, I watched this a few times and I was like, yeah, they broke her neck for sure. And it's real. I don't give a fuck if you say it's not happening. Like, all these people in the background, all masks on, and these guys are just rolling in and just fucking killing people. And yeah, you know what I mean? She's done. That's what they're doing to people. You imagine that shit that's going on there? And I don't know if this is Hubei or where this is from, but like, I don't know. But she must have, like, but you know what I mean? Like, there's no life in her. That's some serious shit going down. And everybody's like, oh, don't worry about it. No, it's all right. You know, it was like the SARS virus. You know, we went through the SARS virus. Everybody remembers when we went through the SARS virus, and you get all these news organizations chirping about the fucking past viruses and all the statistics about past viruses, and all these analysts and panelists and fucking everybody up there squawking about nothing because the World Health Organization knows nothing. So how the fuck are these clowns going to know something? You know, oh, you know, and then you got news anchors. Well, you know, they're giving people, I guess, public safety analysis to say, well, it's pretty low. The risk to the public's low right now. There's nothing to worry about. You know, the numbers are pretty low. You know, it's pretty low. Don't worry about it. And the World Health Organization has on their website, like on their fucking website, and it says high globally. Like, where the hell is it? You know, I'll just bring it up, even if it's, but it's regionally high, and it's globally high. Microsoft Word. What's this one? This one's February 8th. Yeah, this is novel coronavirus situation report 19. And what does it say over here? China is very high. Well, yes, you can imagine. And regional levels high. And global levels high. I would consider anything that constitutes any place or anything in, on, or around the globe would be everything on the globe would be considered high. But then, you know, you got these local authorities and governments and I've heard a doctor say 0 fucking percent, or you know what I mean, like the one that oh, it just pissed me off when I heard him say that. I was like, how could you say 0%? You got 2 people infected, quarantined in their house in the community, and you say there's zero risk to the community. And that's what he said, 0. Not 1, not 2, not a half. He said fucking 0. And I said, whoa, you should be stripped of all your medical credentials right there. And like, I hope like you look like a dummy, because like, who says 0 and you release 2 medical patients who have it into the community, and then you say, oh, there's 0 risk to the community? Like, it just irks me. And they're trying to, like, you know, they're not trying to cover it up as much, but they're trying to keep a hold of everybody, because if they start talking about this shit, everybody's gonna start fucking losing their bananas. Do you know what I mean? Like, they will. Everybody will be like, oh my god, and it'll be just like China. They'll fucking put in like military law and fucking be going door to door and fucking let's hope not, right? But if everybody melts down, everybody shits the bed, and people start panicking and take to the streets and freak out and start burning shit, it's gonna go to hell pretty quick, just like China, right? But China's, you know, their government flat out just fucking lied to them and deceived them. You know, we're waiting on data. that's our downfall. Like, they're welding doors shut. You know what I mean? They're welding people in their houses. And these are big apartment buildings, and they're welding the apartment buildings shut. And it does fit, you know, it fits the bill. It really does. You can see the people around here, down here, have masks on. I don't think these guys really care. They probably think like Chinese government probably was like, here, you know, well, you take this pill and you're safe, you know, it protects you. Don't worry about it. You're Superman now. Go in and fucking fuck shit up. Because there's a communist party, right? They're so brainwashed. You could tell them that they're drinking. You could give them apple juice and tell them that it's like fucking superhero juice, and they'd believe them if it was coming from, like, you know, the the general or something. They'd totally believe it, because they're brainwashed right from childhood. Like, these are child soldiers raised with 0 morals, and they're ruthless as fuck. And as you can see, like, yeah, this guy's just so funny. I don't know, just like he just seems so like he's not even like, just, yeah, nobody's prepared for this, right? Nobody is. Like, they've done simulations and they've ran things, but real life is a little different, especially when you're dealing with real people who have real personalities and real fucking issues. So things get a little crazy, right? Shut it up. So it gets a little out of hand pretty quick. Yeah, not bad. About 41 cases. We're gonna, like, that's old actually. Let's go check some real news. Some latest news. Where are we at here? Bam. Alright. Oh, we're gonna give this a little snap. Oh wait, I'm gonna go back. Four people being monitored for coronavirus in the US, I think. Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. While there's still no confirmed cases and no major health threat in North Carolina, health department is currently monitoring 4 people for coronavirus. Well, if you're monitoring them, there's probably a good chance that you suspect that they have it. But you never know, right? It's a, and you can't see this thing, and it's so hard to detect. Scientists are fucking blown away by it. They're like, what the hell in the hell is this? And there was actually a report that came out that people just shit their pants whenever they read, and then it disappeared off Twitter. I had a chance to look at it, and I still do have it somewhere. But basically it it does spell it right out in plain black and white. If the test, or if the, you know, if they replicate it and it's the same, then it's confirmed, right? And of course they would have replicated it by now. They would have replicated it 100 times over. But they still say, oh, we don't know anything about it, we don't know nothing, like we're just stupid, we don't know nothing. I don't know. No, I'm sure they, I don't know if they knew for sure that it was a man-made weapon. Do you think they'd say? Think they'd tell anybody, or would they just kind of just roll along with it? I don't know. They'd have to be weighing things at a statistical level too, where it's like versus telling the world or versus not telling the world. What's going to be the greatest impact here? And that's basically what it is. You're a statistic on a piece of paper, and it's not about, it's about, yeah, it's about red tape and policy and procedure and formality and oh my fuck. Yeah, because that's what they do. They plan for this stuff, and then they make policies, procedures, and then they, when the shit happens, they use those policies and procedures, and they usually don't deviate from them. Even if they hit a roadblock, they're like, well, shit, well, what do we do now? I don't know, run some more numbers. That's fucking fine. Let's study that again. And we don't have time for that. You know, we don't have it. We don't have fucking time. We don't have a second. We don't. Every second that goes by, this is at least being passed on to some more people, right? And it would have to be. Because the world doesn't stop. Everybody kind of just doesn't doing their thing. This thing's out there silently just creeping around, and you don't know who or what or where, and it's kind of freaky, right? It is. So, like, I don't know. They don't seem to be giving us very much information from the World Health Organization. But they have told us that, well, some pretty fucking alarming possible statistics. You know, they gave us an RO value of 1.3 to 4.9. Either nothing to worry about or batshit crazy fucking. And it's like, it's total extremes. It's either nothing or all. Like, there's no gray area in between with these guys. And yeah, they're just, I don't know. These cruise ships, though, these cruise ships are going to bring the world's attention. Because, you know what, they're full of older people, and they don't have much of a chance against this. A 34-year-old healthy doctor couldn't come out of this. Do you know what I mean? Like the Dr. Lee. So if they couldn't save him, you know, he was healthy. This thing doesn't just particularly, like they were saying at first, oh, it only affects this person or only affects that person, or this is affecting everybody. And I shouldn't say I only think, but there's a few other people who think that because of the genome sequence they put out, there is a high probability that this particular strain can infect multiple species of hosts, meaning not just humans, maybe birds, maybe bats, maybe fucking lions, giraffes, elephants, anything, you know, cows. It sure looks like that, and they pointed at that in the paper too, because it has extra protein, and they're binding proteins, so they have these extra binding spots to attach to your cell. So it means it has, with these extra proteins and extra binding cells, it means it has a diverse, you know, more range to, you know, infect something. and we don't know anything about it, but you know, these are preliminary studies coming out, and the studies are saying, well, fuck, you know what, this thing looks evil as fuck. But nobody's talking about it. Like, nobody's asking the questions on any news channel right now, or like almost never, about the Wuhan fucking P4 lab that's there. You know what I mean? Like, isn't the suspicion even kind of mildly important? Because the lab is only 20 kilometers, or sorry, 20 miles away from the Wuhan seafood market where they say it originated. So, and is it a theory? Speculation? Fucking right it is. Because this thing is wicked. And from now, like, all the numbers we've been getting is from China. We haven't had any large breakouts, so we don't really see what's happening. And China's just saying whatever the hell China wants to say. There's no oversight in whatever fucking numbers they want to put up there. They're just probably rolling dice and fucking being like, okay, we'll give them this today. Because they can't even count anymore. They don't have test kits. The test kits are being rationed at 2,000. This was like 2 weeks ago that they were rationing out the test kits. 2,000 to Wuhan, or actually for the whole Hubei province. 2,000 test kits. That was it. That's why kind of that whenever you see it jump, it's only jumping by like 2,000 at a time or so, because they only have so many test kits out, and they can only test so much at once. Like, it takes a bit, right? It's like, it doesn't, you just don't test for this right away. It takes probably like at least a day to test for this now, and then if it's possibly positive with the first test, then it goes to the lab and it gets an in-depth analysis at the lab and actually confirms it. But the numbers aren't right. The numbers aren't even close. Like, they got people quarantined in the fucking houses over there. You know what I mean? Like, they're literally welding the doors shut and like hammering them, like sealing them up. Like, anybody who has a fever, anybody who's like, it's just savage. It really is beyond. And like the World Health Organization even gave a poke at that too, and they were saying, you know, some countries are doing more than what they're expected to, you know, and we'll be checking on this situation, you know, because it's a humanitarian fucking disaster. Like, they're just going in and sweeping people, like anybody, anywhere, doing anything. You know, if you're in the same building with somebody who's infected, you're considered infected. And they could just say whatever they want, but they just want to lock everybody inside to try and stop this spread. But it's too far gone. It is. It's spread too quick, too fast over there. And I don't think they have a chance in hell, to be honest with you. It is just going to rip right through their healthcare system and the frontline workers. The grid will go down, and that'll be it. You know, you won't be able to regulate that. There's 1.4 billion people over there who are extremely pissed off at their government, who have lost trust in like everyone, who have been raised in a communist country to like have no morals and like, you know, just, well, a different set of standards, let's say. And it's just a shit show. Like, the food's running out, like people's friends and family are dying, and the fucking military is just going around like boarding people up, and you got people calling, like the military's hiring people off the streets, like to you know, and paying people that will, you know, basically be deputized, not your daily doctors, I don't think. And I don't think, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, these people are taking some serious analysis, and getting some data, right? They could have been with the CDC, who knows? But they're you know what I mean? They're not frontline doctors, these people. They're in there to get data, right? and they're documenting everything because they have no idea what it is, and everybody seems to be presenting different symptoms. What else do I got here? Let's go down and check some more stuff out. United States acknowledges China's cover-up coronavirus. Let's check that out. We all know they covered it up. Fucking pieces of shit. They should find that guy, President Xi, and just where the people would love to find him if they haven't found him already, because he hasn't made an appearance since like fucking 4 days ago, and he's usually frontline headline and every other page in the newspaper every day, because he's like so full of himself. You know, he's just like Kim Jong-un. You know, it's just Donald Trump. Yeah, but he hasn't made any public opinion or appearances. You know, so it's check mark test. Yeah, there's let me fix this. I'll figure it out. Shitballs. Where'd the sound go? Yo. Okay, just give me a sec here. I'll figure it out. There's something obviously not so great about this. Check mark test. Yeah, there's let me fix this. I'll figure it out. Shitballs. Where'd the sound go? Oh. Okay, just give me a sec here. I'll figure it out. There's something obviously. Test. Yeah, there's fix this. Shit. Anyway, okay. I'll just have to go like this. Yeah, I'm not sure why I did that. Anyway. Shit. Anyway. This should work, I think. Why?
Also, while you were sleeping, China now has a scale of Chernobyl for China. But actually, it's probably worse than Chernobyl, which was localized in its effect. The coronavirus could result in a global pandemic. So while you were all sleeping overnight, the number of diagnosed cases in China increased by 30%. Now, let me be clear, that's not new cases, that is just newly admitted cases. It is probably several orders of magnitude higher than that. Also, while you were sleeping, China now has its entire border with Russia closed. 2,600 miles, Russia has closed that border. El Al has shut down travel between Israel and China. Air France has shut down travel between China and France. And that's in addition to all the other countries that have already shut down travel. From what we know so far, and there's still many unknowns, this virus could have both a long incubation period, as much as 14 days, and individuals could be contagious while asymptomatic, which was not the case with SARS in 2003.
This is scary.
Furthermore, from some cases, it appears the virus could be aerosolized, which means it doesn't require the kind of contact that you have with, say, a married couple kissing each other or a family living in close quarters in a hotel or apartment, but rather the distances we are all sitting apart right now. Yet China is still lying about all of this. They've been lying about it from the very beginning, and you don't need their history of lying about SARS in 2003, though it is relevant here. You just have to see what's happened over the last 2 months. We now know that the first case manifested no later than December 1, even though China didn't reveal it to the WHO until a month later on December 31st, when they continued to hide it from their own citizens. And they continued to say that it had been contained inside Wuhan. Today, it is in every single province in China.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? It's just amazing. Like the shit yeah, the shit show cover up that's going on, and China was being so secretive about it. We always knew like they were kind of being secretive, but how secretive? And obviously, you know, they were holding quite a bit back. So what's going on here? Let's check out some so paper on virus transmission sparks outrage. Yeah, so I think this is the paper I was talking about earlier about let's check this for a sec. Yeah, I think this one here also goes on to talk about how it's being transmitted by the air.
By Chinese health officials showed that human-to-human transmission of the new virus started to happen in China as early as mid-December. However, Chinese authorities didn't confirm human transmission until a month later, on January 20th.
A new paper published on Wednesday in the New England Journal of Medicine has sparked an online storm on China's social media. It said the coronavirus started to spread person to person in mid-December, and evidence of this was clear in early January. But Chinese authorities insist there was no evidence until late January. Angry internet users are accusing health authorities of withholding information about the coronavirus. Some of China's top health authorities, including the director of the country's Center for Disease Control, are among the authors of the paper. Wang Liming, a biography professor in China, wrote in a post that he was more than outraged and literally speechless after reading the paper, calling it the first solid proof that human transmission was intentionally hidden from the public. The professor's post was quickly deleted. The paper also contradicts some of China's other official announcements. It shows that from January 1st to 11th, 7 healthcare providers were infected with the virus. However, China's official notice said on January 13th there was no infection among healthcare providers. One post online accused the health officials of risking billions of lives. Others wrote that the researchers are also helpless if the authorities don't allow them to disclose the information. The mayor of Wuhan said in an earlier interview that local officials aren't allowed to disclose information about the outbreak to the public without approval from higher officials. The comment sparked public outrage over officials' blame game and lack of transparency.
Yeah, and it's covered up everywhere, right? We know that. At every level see, iPhone maker Foxconn starts making masks. They can't sell any of their markets to any of their products to the market because they're not allowing any shipping or anything coming out of there. This is what set the people on fire. When the courts agreed with the people, they all went against the top government. And then they removed the post in China, but it was too late. Everybody's seen it. Yeah, China's Supreme Court has often been at the forefront of the crackdown on rumors. So, Chinese newspaper Beijing Youth Daily this week published a story of a local doctor who said he had been summoned by Wuhan police the night before, and he was arrested. So then, on Tuesday, an article published by a judge from the top court on the court's social media account noted that if law enforcement hadn't been so quick to take action to stop the rumors, maybe China might be in a better position. And then the fucking people went ballistic. On social media, many have noted with anger that the Wuhan police they had announced action against the pneumonia rumors. So they told everybody that they couldn't talk about it, right? Yeah, and people just shit the bed over there. They hate that guy now. There was hundreds of thousands of, well, it's like a WeChat, or Weibo, sorry. It's like Twitter here. Anyways, there was like hundreds of thousands of comments like calling for like hatred towards the top people, and then they were all censored the next day, or yeah, it was pretty crazy. And it's just the system can't handle it there. It's just overworked at every way. Even if you got all the supplies in there, the people to do it are fatigued and just overworked for sure. And all the supplies mostly are ran out. They said 3 days ago they only had 3 days of supplies left, and nobody came in. And like I was saying here, they have President Xi orders the military, like this is a military order to go in and do what the military does there. And communist country military, you can imagine, right? But it's crazy, like they're just ripping people out, and forcing people into these vans, kind of bumping ahead a little bit. But it's real and it's relevant. Like they got the suits on, like these guys are oh, just one sec. Okay. And this guy with the rip here in his suit, he's in multiple videos, and it's the same rip in the same spot. And I don't have enough time to go through and find the videos and queue them up, but maybe someday. But yeah, if you go through and you watch, you'll see it stands out, right? And anyways, it's real, right? And these guys aren't doctors, these are hired goons, right? That's what they are. And this police officer's just over overseeing everything. You know, these guys are hired goons to go in and do this, right? That's the way it is. You know, and they're just, you know, they're taking these people to quarantine camps. And, like, I think this guy here, he's got the rip on it too. One of these guys has a rip on it. Like, they're just going in and taking people, eh? If you got it, and these are women. That looks like a white woman in the front, but I don't know. And like the cops, you know, don't film this, get the fuck out of here. Alright? You know what I mean? Like, they got orders from above to come in and just, like, if you got a fever, if there's somebody in the building that has a fever, like, it's just whatever they want to do, right? Whatever they want to do. They got a free pass, and they're ruthless fucking people. So you can imagine, like, it's only going to be so long before the Chinese people, like, start fighting back and stuff, right? And here's more. There's tons of them, right? And you can tell it's all relevant. You know, these guys are all suited up. You know, they're just pulling bodies. Oh, shut up. But they're just pulling bodies out, right? All day long. All day long. Apparently there's 6 incinerators. Well, not incinerators, I guess, but crematoriums in Wuhan, or Hubei province. And they're just being, like, 24 hours a day, apparently. And this was funny. Chinese health officials guidelines. You know, this was like a week ago, I guess. Well, no, February 2nd, yeah. It was a week ago. And they were trying to get people to go back to work, and this is what they wanted people to do. They wanted people to stay apart. You know, they nobody could be close to each other. That's what they said. And on public transit and on fucking and the taxi drivers were supposed to stop every 2 hours and air out their cabs. That's what their guidelines were, and to use natural ventilation, which means just keep the windows down. And I wish I was making that up. That's what they actually said. Natural ventilation, you know, and require everyone to stop every 2 hours and air out your car. Like, that just goes to show you, like, how fucked these people are, right? And I feel bad for the people in China because, you know, their government is just fucked them. You know, they didn't even have a chance. And here's a doctor. He was later arrested. Anyways, but he goes in and, like, you know, it's just, this is a hospital, and he said the van is just, or the nurse, right? She said it's just constant. Like, the bodies are just being taken out all the time. This guy looks like a robot, dude. Like, he really does. Yeah, and look at these guys. These guys are serious, right? And they got, like, the masks on, and they're running out of supplies, so they're just using, like, it looks like rain jackets. I think that's exactly what they are. It's like rain jackets. But they're strapping some heavy heat. Like, these guys aren't fooling around. I don't know what's in that white bag, but I don't know. But anyways, like, when they come rolling up here, like, look at those. That's fully automatic rifles. This guy's got just a handgun, but yeah, just crazy, right? And apparently, yeah, people were trying to get masks and everything before the city locked down, and people just, I don't know, who knows, right? It's just crazy madness over there right now. Let's go see if we can find some actual news. The what's going on in the coronavirus world? Cruise ships. Four passengers on New Jersey cruise ship test negative. 2 more cases, yeah, 63. I thought it was 64 because Japan reported that 4 cases, and then Yeah, they did. They reported 4 cases. Where the hell's the other one? Man. Where'd it go? Maybe in this. Yeah, there it is. Japan. Yeah, Japan confirms 3 more coronaviruses, bringing the total to 64. And they say 63 here. I don't know. Maybe they count wrong or something. But it's just a shit show of information. Like, the media doesn't even know what to do because they're not even supposed to be talking about it. And it's really hard for them right now because they probably want to ask 1,000 questions, but they're probably being told not to report on certain stuff just because you don't want to cause civil unrest or blah blah, whatever their fucking story is. That they don't have to actually talk about the real story. Because, yeah. Okay, anyways, we'll go and check. Coronavirus. What's this? Doesn't even matter what the numbers are anymore. They just say, well, the death toll reached this. Like that, I bet you you couldn't even imagine the death toll. Like 6, and that's not confirmed, but that's pretty solid evidence, or a source that says, you know, the incinerators were running 24 hours a day, just fucking burning bodies. And now they got people, they're just locking people in their house to die in their house. Because they can't control it. There's no way they can control it, and they're trying too hard in China. You know, they're causing a lot of grief for no reason, really. Like, it's there. There's nothing you can do about it. But you got the president, fucking Xi, up there thinking, well, you know, I can get a handle on this yet. Don't worry, our markets are great. You know, no worries here. We're all going back to work. No. Chinese officials note serious problems in coronavirus response. Well, that's new. Let's check that out. It's always new stuff, and it's so fucking hard to decipher it. And I look at it and I just say, I scratch my head and I'm just like what the fuck? I don't know. Anyways, so Washington Post, Emily Rolula, 30 minutes ago. I don't read. Unexplained pneumonia has occurred in Wuhan City, Hubei province. A mysterious virus spread through Wuhan last month. The World Health Organization had a message: China has got this. China has got this. Oh, the transparency of the Chinese response. Even as evidence mounted that Chinese officials had silenced whistleblowers and undercounted cases, Tedros took a moment to extol the leadership of President Xi Jinping. So, I don't know. I kind of thought that was him taking a poke at him. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, I really thought that he was being more of a... Because China was there in the room, right? Like, their spokesperson or whatever, like, their representative for the country. And he was like, oh, yeah, you know, we're so happy, you know, so happy. Meaning, like, you fucking idiots or something. I don't know, but it just seemed off to me why he would praise him so much over and over and over. Like, it really was. Like, half the fucking broadcast was him just fucking stroking this guy's ego. So, anyways, let's go back to this. So, now, more than a month ago, into an escalating global crisis, there are questions about whether whose praise in early last week's created false sense of security that potentially spurred the virus's spread. We were deceived. A professor from Global Health Law at Georgetown University, who provides technical assistance to the WHO, myself and other public health experts, based on what the World Health Organization and China were saying, reassured the public that this was not serious, that we could bring this under control, he continued. And this is quoted from, what was this guy's name? Lawrence Gostin, professor of global health law at Georgetown. Okay. And this is quote. So anyways, we were, he added, giving a false sense of assurance. Of course, you know what I mean? You gotta tell you can't hide this from people. Even if you don't have the data to come out and conclusively say what it is or blah 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 bullshit semantics policy procedure, have a fucking conscience and come out and like a sense of fucking, you know, a judgment and be like, well, yeah, you know what, actually guys, this is pretty fucking bad, you know, we don't know what it is, well, you know, it's coming, but you know, we're gonna do our best, you know, that would be more, people would take that better than the fucking beating around the bush that you're fucking doing, like, because it does suck. And at the same time, I understand they don't want to cause panic and alarm without concrete evidence, because these guys are public figures and they're binded by their policies and their fucking procedures and all this shit, right? So yeah, and the death toll went up, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's a lot, right? And like these, I couldn't, when I watched that at first, and I was like, what the hell's this guy doing? He's got to be like taking a poke at China, you know, giving China the fucking grease or something, because there's no way like somebody would just appraise someone that much in like a meeting like that. Like he did, he just overdid it. I don't know why or what his logic was behind it, but obviously he felt like he needed to do it. So take that with a grain of salt too, right? But there's so many red flags everywhere. And like we got the cruise ship numbers coming off there. Numbers off the cruise ship are actual numbers, and we know that a third of the people tested so far are positive, and we know that this thing, you don't detect it in the early stages. You can have it for 2 or 3 days and you cannot detect it. But then day 3, day 4, it becomes apparent in the urine and the stool. It takes up to like, I think it's like day 10 or 11 before it shows up in your actual blood system. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, and that's from the New England Journal of Medicine. And it's under the first coronavirus patient, US patient. And like read through that and just go skip right down to whatever, I think it was conclusions. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy, right? It's a lot, and I've been trying to follow this, and it is hard. It's hard because they're doing a pretty good job at snuffing it, right? And people aren't really looking that much, but the cruise ship is what kind of fucked them. And then they got 2 of them. And now they got 3 of them. And then there's a 4th one out circling around. They won't let anybody on. And then there's a 5th one. This one here, which people say have nothing to do with it. But there is some 89 suspected cases of norovirus. And they said, oh, no, don't worry. Let's just read this here. A government spokesman stressed the noro symptoms are not those of coronavirus. That's what he stressed. But according to case study, yes, they actually are, and they are overlooked in coronavirus cases. They yes. Went through that earlier. Gastrointestinal cases seem to be overlooked, and yeah. GI symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms may be overlooked in coronavirus cases. Yeah, so they do have them, and it is not uncommon because this thing affects it. It's different every time, right? And not to say that this is, you know, not to say that this ship doesn't just have a gastro or like a norovirus, but it just seems weird considering where they're at. Let's see where they're at. Where was it? There was a, here it is. Or no, that's the Westerdam. Yeah, they won't let the Westerdam come in either. The ports are all closed. Like, you got Cambodia, Thailand, like all these places are infected now. All of them. Japan, everywhere. Right? And they've been going through here, and they have there's suspected passengers on there, right? And they don't want none of these countries want to deal with that, you know, because they'll just have to like take the patients into the hospital off the ship. What Japan's doing down in Hong Kong, like they got 2 cruise ships there. I don't know what they would like. That's just a lot, right? That's going to stress their healthcare system right to the nuts. And Barbados denies entry to MV Caribbean Princess cruise ship. So, you know, like this has got to be something badass, and I think they know now. I really do. I really think they have a good goddamn idea, because they got boots on the ground now. They do. They have people. Apparently, the World Health and CDC, and there's a task force with the U.S. and yeah. So I don't know, but there's boots on the ground, and they're getting real images, right? They're seeing stuff, and you know, like they haven't got in there. Dr. Tedros from World Health, he went to Ground Zero, I think it was December. I don't know, but he went there, and he was just there for a quick how do you do, and he flew back, and then the next day declared a World Health, you know, global health concern or global health emergency, and they all voted on it unanimously. Like, it was a unanimous decision. They all said, "Yep, let's do it." And this is like a board of people, you know. So whatever he's seen there, but you know, there was other outbreaks happening in other cities. There's, you know, it's China. Who knows, right? We can't trust anything that China's gonna say to us. Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, they're just coming in and ripping people out of the houses and stuff, right? Like, these people are just ruthless. And they're hired thugs. They're hired thugs off the street. They're told whatever they're told to, you know, feel like they're batshit crazy, and, you know. That was old. But, yeah. Health law, aging. Yeah, and it's so hard to find the information now. Like, they just don't make it very easy, and like the stuff they talk about barely even matters. Like, it doesn't. Just nothing. It's just nothing really. It's just anything to fill the fucking webpage with fluff. You know, the numbers, we know the numbers are stupid. Fuck, the numbers are like 10 times that of SARS already. I could almost imagine. I just listen. Hear you. Why are you doing that? Oh yeah, because my VPN's in. I go. Anyway. Well, yeah, you got all these cruise ships just floating around in the ocean now. Nobody wants to deal with them. Like, there's thousands of people in there, tourists. They're not even from these places. So you imagine like the healthcare insurance and stuff that if these guys get brought on land, these insurance companies are gonna shit the bed. They are, because, and you know what I mean. Like, these people are traveling on high class cruises, and they got insurance. You can goddamn guarantee it. Especially the people like on the Princess or the Diamond Cruise or the Diamond Princess or something it's called. The one in Japan. Let's just check out. Diamond Princess. Oh, actually, I'll just go And yeah, and it's funny we haven't got any numbers out of this yet, because I'm pretty sure they should have got more test results back by now. 63, like, no, there's way more than that, you know, like, they only did 171 tests. There's close to, like, I think there's 3,500 people on that ship. Anyway, settings. Indians on Diamond Princess quarantined off Japan. Quarantined. Thousands stranded on cruise ships. Yep. There are. And there's gonna be Australian government CNN news. Yeah, it's weird. Never got anything. Oops, spelled that wrong. Yeah. Now they say like 61. I don't get it. They said that's weird. There's so many conflicting statements. That's the third one that says something different now. For the numbers, like for the number of people. This is 7 minutes ago. Okay. Maroon ship off Japan rise to 61. Dozens more people on the cruise ship. Diamond Princess operated. Yeah, so that's the same one. They said 41 people on the ship tested positive on Friday, bringing the total to 61. 21 of the new cases were Japanese. Was infected, removed to hospital, Tokyo. So what the hell? There was another, look over here. They say Japan now confirms 3 more coronaviruses on cruise liner, and it's the Diamond Princess, and it's they say 63 here, they say 61, where the fuck was it there, and then they say 60, they say 62 on another one. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? There's so many different numbers. Doesn't make sense. Can't even get their story straight. I don't even know. 41. Oh yeah, there, look, there's 61. Total reach 61. These guys say 62. These guys say 63. Or 64, I mean. Yeah, that's... what the fuck? It's just a shit show. It really is. And there's like no news coming out on it, like hardly anything. And that's pretty worrisome. Because usually like news is like all over to blow shit up out of the water and get viewers, and I don't know. Seems exactly what they would do when shit's like real. Don't talk about it because it's actually real. People don't like real shit. Nobody wants to hear real things. Alright. The people will panic. The people were gonna be pissed if you fucking lie to them and fuck around. That's what Japan. That's what China did. You know, they fucking straight up fucking just kept dodging the bullet, dodging the bullet. No, it's all good, it's all good, and then all fucking hell broke loose. And you don't want to be in a situation like that. No. Yeah, that's funny. I don't know. It could be norovirus on that ship. Yeah, it could be. I don't know what to think anymore. It's just a shit show. I got these ass clowns up there, just like, you know what I mean? What's he even saying? Oh yeah, fuck you, fuck you. That's, like, they don't say anything except what's scripted and approved by the fucking Communist Party. And as dumb as it sounds, like, these guys will just sit there and read it off the paper. You know what I mean? Oh, it's such a nightmare on every fucking level. It is. And the World Health Organization, like, they don't really know what to do with this either. Like, they don't have a whole lot of ideas on, like, what their next steps are, and they're only buying time with waiting on data. Like, this whole excuse to be like, well, we need facts and we need fact-based decisions, and they stress that so many times. We need facts, and it doesn't matter if the goddamn place is burning down around them. They'll be like, well, you want to run those numbers again just to make sure? That's the way it is, right? Policy procedure bullshit. I hope they figure it out soon. I really do. Because, who knows? It's fucking nuts. But everybody kind of seems to be, like, patients are showing all different symptoms. And they don't know what it is. Everybody's kind of got, like, a different thing, but you can't get rid of it. You can treat it, but it's still, it comes back. They were asking at the Wuhan hospital, I think it was the Wuhan hospital, but it was one of the ones that were overcrowded, if it was your first or second time. You know what I mean? Like, that was on the questionnaire thing or whatever. If it was your first or second time, dealing with this. So some people will get better. They will get better for a little while, but then it comes back. Now, for whatever reason, like, how this thing works or how it's mutating, and it has mutated. Actually, let me bring that back up again. It says even in here that it has mutated twice. And this is in the New England Journal of Medicine. I'll go away with you. Let's go back down. A negative. Noted that it did in fact mutate. So it could be doing something different every time, and that's what it just seems like it mutates every time it goes through a pass. Which is yeah. Every time it's passed on to somebody else, it mutates. And it's kind of worrisome because you can't fight something that's always changing. I can't find it now. Skimming through it too fast, and my eyes are just like being blah blah. But anyway, yeah, they did say that they have 2 cases where it has mutated, or like samples. They have blood samples that were done, and the samples show that each one's a little different. So yeah, it's mutating. And China kind of clamps down. That's near 500. That's a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago. It's only the 5th. You know, they just keep flying up. And China definitely, you know, and even the West, you know, China clamps down on coverage. And now, well, the West wasn't really reporting on it very much anyway, but now they're really gone silent on it. You know, you think that cruise ship would be front and center of every newscast everywhere. Or not just that one cruise ship, but all of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's huge news. Why are they not talking about that shit? Why? It's just so blatantly obvious that they're, you know, they don't know what to do. I hope they get their shit together soon, because, you know, World Health Organization comes on and says, yeah, well, we're broke. We've been fighting Ebola and you know, this other epidemic down in Africa and Sudan. You know, we threw all our resources at that for the last 2 or 3 years. And now we got this outbreak. That's not funny, but it just seems like it's the perfect fucking disaster. It couldn't have come at a worse time. Like, even, excuse me, during the Chinese New Year, when everybody was like traveling, and seems odd and very fishy. But, you know, this is some serious shit, you can guarantee it. And it's way worse than you could possibly imagine. It's spreading too fast, like way too fast. And the World Health Organization saying, yep, we're just gonna do some, we don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna keep trying to figure out what it is before we announce anything. But anyways, I think that's it for me for tonight. Unless they come out with something interesting in the next few minutes, I'll do another stream and rant and rave about it. But yeah, appreciate you know, you guys sticking around and definitely checking this out, because it's something we need to be paying attention to very closely. You know, we can only speculate as to all the fucking different outcomes or where it came from or whatever, but I think we all have a real goddamn good idea what's going on here. But of course, we got no data, got no evidence, so we can't say it. You can't have free thought and discussion about things like bioweapons. Oh, we can't say the bioweapons. We'll just say it's a viral agent out of containment. No, you don't know. That's not right. You can't say that. You don't know that. No, you don't know that. No, I don't. But can you fucking disprove that? Give me some solid goddamn evidence somewhere that says that it's not. You know, they don't know the animal source. It's an RNA based fucking virus, which is even like the other coronaviruses. I think they were like a DNA based, and this one's like RNA, so it's like right into the inner workings. You know, like if you thought like DNA, you know, take your car for example, your DNA would be like changing the paint of your car. You know, if you were going to paint your car, that'd be like DNA level. But you know, if you're doing transmission and engine work, that'd be like RNA level. Right, so this shit's like right into the fucking inner workings of our biology. Like it's too good to be something that came out of nature. You know, like too powerful and too, I shouldn't say too good, but too good of a virus. You know, it's too fucking perfect. And it is. There's so many fishy fucking things about it. But you know, we can't say or claim anything, because there's no solid evidence, except that the Wuhan P4 laboratory is only 20 kilometers away from this place. But there's speculation, you know, it could have come from anywhere, right? You know, aliens, you know, we can't not mention aliens, you know, if we're going fucking conspiracy theory. Oh shit. Maybe that's what it was. It was alien shit, and they were like flying by really fast, and like, you know, they had to do like a fucking purge from their spaceship fucking shitter. Fuck. I guess it's just as plausible, isn't it? As it being anything at this point. But regardless, it's coming. And it's good to stay informed and at least update, because, you know, these ass clowns, they, who knows what they're up to, right? Just have to. I don't think they don't have a grasp on it at all. They don't. And they're waiting on data before they can make any decisions. Just the way she goes. And the world's best minds can't figure this out. They still haven't figured it out. Not a fucking clue. But there's a lot of evidence. But there's still just not enough conclusive evidence, I guess. But anyway, the next couple of weeks are going to be quite interesting on these cruise ships. When you see these people unfortunately start succumbing to this because they are older in age, and they will probably not have a chance at all. Like, they won't last very long just because of their age. And underlying issues and whatever, the virus takes hold, and it's just a huge shock to your system. You start making all these fucking anti-inflammatories and fucking antibodies and all this shit to like defend it, and that just depletes every fucking thing, you know, in your body, which weakens your immune system, and then the virus just has all that more less work to do to infect your cells, right? Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I've been studying this shit for a while, and it's kind of crazy. It is like the perfect storm. It's fucked. But anyways, we'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go and do something else. Peace.